CERIC-ERIC is a distributed research infrastructure established as an ERIC in Central Europe. Now, in 2011, in 2012, 5 European countries and Serbia came together and proposed to European Commission to establish an ERIC in the field of a distributed research infrastructure in the field of advanced materials, biomaterials, and nanotechnology. And this had been, done in 2014 with the Commission's implementing decision establishing CERIC-ERIC. Now, CERIC-ERIC brings together a number of member states, which you have presented here, with complementary equipment in the field of characterization of materials. Synchrotron radiation from Italy, Elettra, NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance from Slovenia, light scattering from Austria, surface physics from Czech Republic, synchrotron radiation, a different one from Italian source, provided by our Polish member. Then there's neutron beamlines in Hungary, microscopy in Romania, and tandem accelerator in Croatia. Croatia and Hungary are associated partner facilities. Member states have not yet joined with a partner facility. Now, the rationale for establishing this institution was first of all to optimize resources. Now, a lot of resources are invested Europe-wide, not only into large single-sided facilities, but also in large and mid-scale laboratories, which need to be of top qualities in certain regions. Now, the rationale for CERIC was that each country, participating country, looks at its landscape of research infrastructures and proposes the laboratory which would complementary fit to the ones of other countries in the field of advanced materials and would be of excellent quality as assessed by international evaluation committee, assessment committee, composed of expert researchers in the field. And this had been done. Now, we also wanted to optimize the use of research infrastructures. Several of the participating partner facilities have not had open access before. So in this way, we are providing a single access point with standardized high-quality peer review enabled to allow users from across the world to access these research infrastructures. By allowing also users from the best users, researchers from around the world to work on these research infrastructures, we consider that there's significant benefit also for our members because we do all learn from working with these brilliant scientists. Now, the third rationale was also to increase the quality of managing these research infrastructures and the quality of internal research. This is addressed through joint research projects and knowledge sharing in the case of, for example, technology transfer, communication, management of research infrastructures. Take note that CERIC is a distributed infrastructure where some countries are really very well developed, for example, Austria, also Italy, while the other countries are more or less the ones from the widening group. Now, the funding for this CERIC-ERIC is basically twofold. The funding for the central administration is provided by Italy, which hosts the seat of CERIC-ERIC. Then each country has to fund its own infrastructure, prioritize it within their national landscape of research infrastructure, and contribute it in kind to be able to host the users. It's very important that CERIC-ERIC started with the open calls even before it was established in 2014 with a pilot call. It had never had a preparatory phase or implementation phase funded by European Commission. So it's been running now since 2014, and we try to learn by doing. And on the way, try to establish all the necessary internal regulations and strategic documents to help us on the way. Now, in order to be best fit also for funding with the structural funds, please note that several of the participating countries are from cohesion regions. CERIC commissioned a report in 2013 trying to investigate potentials for co-funding of CERIC-ERIC activities with the cohesion policy funds. The report broke down the needed the support per activity and tried to identify which funds are best, either national funds or structural funds. And within ERDF funding, is it national funding, cross-border or territorial cooperation, and what is best left for the Commission, for example. Now, examples how this is implemented 2 years later are the following. Oh, yes, of course, since we were discussing smart specializations before, this report also emphasized to all the participating regions that they need to include their research infrastructure which participates in CERIC, also in their smart specialization strategies in order to have at least the possibility to fund the research infrastructure within the next funding period. The report was widely disseminated, and most of the countries have included explicitly CERIC-ERIC in their smart specialization strategies. Now, this was not all that difficult as you might imagine, because the fact is that CERIC was established before the smart specialization strategies were prepared. But you should consider that, first of all, member states proposed their lab, their facilities in which they were investing heavily also before, so they were prioritized also within the previous funding periods. And also, CERIC-ERIC addresses the field of advanced materials, characterization of advanced materials. I don't think you can find a smart specialization strategy in Europe which would not also address advanced materials because, well, it's a key enabling technology which goes across sectors. So unless you have a smart specialization strategy which solely focuses on services, you're likely to have also this kind of materials included, this kind of possibility to include this kind of research infrastructure. Now, structural funds are now a reality, and the current situation is the following. Joint R&D activities are currently funded. We have a call that is published, internal call for research. It's co-funded by Italian national funds and with the in-kind contribution from all participating member states. Now, when it comes to members, in Czech Republic, since their partner facility is included on the roadmap, infrastructure roadmap, as is the case with most of the CERIC partners, they are receiving national funds for operation and structural funds for upgrading their research facilities, research infrastructure. NMR Center in Slovenia is receiving, so far there is support for the operations from national funds, and no call for research infrastructures has been published yet. Solaris in Poland, it's a synchrotron, it was constructed with 50 million of ERDF in the previous funding period. Now a call is open to which it's applying for the upgrades of the research infrastructures. Microscopy in Romania. The infrastructure had been financed in the past with 80% of the research infrastructures covered with ERDF funds. Now, we have jointly applied for Central Europe to cover some of the activities related to TT, and cross-border ERDF is used by our partners for implementation of joint projects. Thank you very much.